Michigan Snow Forecast Gold Standard and Vincenzo'S Gold Crypto Investing here on YouTube. You can see we're still waiting on the desert Southwest, California, the Sierra, and the greater Nevada, and more specifically Las Vegas and Lake Mead metropolitan areas to get some more moderate to heavy rain and very, very heavy mountain snows Saturday night, Sunday, and then another one on Monday night and Tuesday. But this train of precipitation over the next 10 days is going to continue in late season, winter and early spring onslaught of winter storms continuing in California and Nevada, which we're going to appreciate and love as long as this will last, as the wet season, a historic wet and snow season, is about to come to an end, and we get a 6 to 7 months dry period. But you can see the first area low pressure is now approaching about 500 to 1,000 miles off the coast of California. And then we have another major area of precipitation that's just to the north west of Hawaii that's going to move its way in Monday afternoon and Tuesday. But locally into the greater Reno metropolitan area and Sierra Nevada, we have winter storm watches. We have flood watches and warnings still going in central Nevada, and localized river flood warnings northeast of the downtown Las Vegas metropolitan area and Lake Mead. But you can see that's dry today all the way across the desert from west to east, from north to south, from Bakers, California to Lancaster to Los Angeles to Santa Barbara and Santa Cruz. It is dry, just as it is in Kingman and Flagstaff and Winslow and St. George. It is all dry and it is all nice, and there isn't any precipitation until you get off to the east of Phoenix and on in to New Mexico and the mountains of northwest Roswell and south of Albuquerque, where we have winter weather advisories, and even some heavy rain has moved its way into Phoenix over the last few days, and we still have some area flood watches and warnings and river flood warnings. But immediately over the Lake Mead area that we're looking for, very dry and quiet over the next 24 to 48 hours. Michigan Snow Forecast Gold Standard, a little bit of advertising here over the screen, and Vincenzo'S Gold Crypto Investing here exclusively on YouTube, where you guys are seeing me more than likely. We're hearing a lot about the La Nina breaking and what that means for the Lake Mead in the desert Southwest in your daily precipitation and forecast for Lake Mead in the desert Southwest for valuable precipitation that we're hunting for and needing, and we're getting in a typical La Nina pattern. You get a big area blocking high pressure out there in the Gulf of Alaska and northwest Canada and south of Alaska, and it pumps the ridge there up into Alaska, bringing in seasonably mild air and the storm track well north into Alaska, and the Pacific jet gets brought up usually into the Pacific Northwest, and then the desert Southwest is dry, and this in the fall and wintertime season is very dry, and it promotes drying in an already dry area, the Southwest, which is a lot of desert and high desert, and that'll exacerbate the drought conditions that you get there during La Ninas. And we just had a 3-year La Nina. And when we take a look at the 3-year La Nina, this is what October to February temperatures look like this year. Last year, 2020 and 2021 winter, and 2021-2022 winter, this is what those seasons look like, the last two, when we had a strong La Nina going on. You notice the desert Southwest and California, very warm, and in Nevada and in New Mexico and the Four Corners, very warm, and the Pacific Northwest, inland warm, but on the coast cooler because of storms that crash in there, right? It's very important to take note of there. And then when we look at the precipitation, you can see California is very dry in the drought conditions. And then as you push inland into Nevada, it's dry to average. So it shows up as average because it's within the average model of air. And then in the Pacific Northwest, you see it blue there with above normal precipitation, which coordinates and corresponds with the cooler temperatures. And then if we look at the summertime, because this is very important, when you get into the summertime, June, July, August, even September and October, September, but June, July, August, you get the high sun angle, and in the Southwest and the deserts there, you get a lot of evaporation and a lot of drying out and a lot of loss of water that fell during the wet season. So the warmer it is and the sunnier it is, the more water you evaporate in the summertime. In the last 3 summers, 2020, 2021, and 2022, June to August, you notice it's very warm out west and up into the high plains, but California, Nevada, in the Four Corners specifically, greater than 2.5 to 3 degrees above normal. Very hot summers that were out there, right? Because it was a La Nina and it tends to be cold. But now, now we're hearing that La Nina is officially over from NOAA, and there is an El Nino discussion going on. And just the very fact this winter of the La Nina breaking and the Central Pacific warming up drastically to near normal, to even in some areas on a weekly basis, El Nino territory, it drastically switched the pattern. December, January, February, now into March, as we went from a 3-year La Nina. And in October, November, December, we started noticing the waters rapidly warming, and then that continued to erase the La Nina as we worked into December, January, February, March. And just by this pattern shifting, and you notice you get a big area, low pressure in the Gulf of Alaska, south of Alaska, the exact opposite as before, and then you get warm air, relatively speaking, up into Canada and the high plains, the opposite of what you had with the La Nina, where you have cold air in northwest Canada and the plains into the Great Lakes. And then you get a persistent extended Pacific jet, which we talked about in our last update yesterday, which is the Pineapple Express, otherwise known in modern times as the atmospheric river. And that pushes wet weather into California and the Four Corners in Nevada specifically, right? And you'll notice with just the switching of the patterns this year, going from the last 3 winters that we had, look at the temperature change this winter. Very cold in California, very cold in the Rockies, in the desert Southwest, in the Four Corners, up into the high plains. A complete flip just based on the ocean starting to warm and getting you from a 3-year La Nina and bringing you back to officially, by the end of winter time, out of La Nina. That effect and that cattle prod of the atmosphere has already made that big of a change. And then if we continue to move forward and look at the precipitation just through February, March isn't on here because it's still in March right now, but look at the dramatic flip in California, way above normal, and record-setting snow and valley rains this year in California, Nevada, and parts of Arizona and New Mexico, right? So it's been a very, very good change. And then if we take a look at moving along in this little slideshow, if we take a look what an El Nino, a week El Nino summers, if we get a week El Nino by June, and we have June, July, August for the summertime, this is what a week El Nino, the ones we've had since 1952. You can see the desert Southwest, California, and Nevada right over Lake Mead is the heart of the below normal, and then the above normal is out into the plains, into the Corn Belt, right? And that's very crucial because if we have a colder than normal summer shaping up with more cloud cover and cooler temperatures, that'll have less evaporation of the water that's already there, and that'll actually help the drought situation because we have less water evaporating in the summertime where we lose most of our water. And you can see the drought monitor in western Nevada around the Reno area. We're starting to get out of the drought, but we are increasing and getting better in the state of Nevada. And when we have our new drought monitor after March, I expect widespread conditions getting better, as you can take a look at California with the change of the pattern with the La Nina fading and the oceans warming in the Central Pacific. You can see most of California has come out of the drought when they were an excessive D3 or greater drought, primarily the whole state. And now most of the state where all the people live are out of drought conditions. And then the Sierra, you're out of the drought conditions. And most of these drought conditions will be broken by the end of the wet season and in the central and southern Nevada. And that's very, very good news for what's been going on here. And that's very, very good news with the El Nino that could possibly be coming on. And then if we take a look at the Lake Mead lake levels, we're at 1,046 feet and 3 inches, and that is up 0.10 feet from yesterday. So that's a daily change from yesterday going up, as I'm forecasting this to level off. And by the summertime, I think we'll be in between that green 2022 and the purple, the 2021, as I think as the snow melts this year, I think we're going to have water actually rising with a cooler season. Like, subscribe, and share for continuous daily updates of the Lake Mead precipitation and all the information and education that you need to forecast and get a better understanding of future. Taking a look at your upcoming precipitation over the desert Southwest, California, Nevada, and over the Four Corners and Lake Mead proper, metropolitan area, Las Vegas. We're going to take a look at and go into the future here at Sunday at 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time. We got that storm we were talking about yesterday. This now is the 17th daily update. We have precipitation at Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern moving into Northern California, and by 2 p.m. pressing into the Sierra, into the Nevada, California border by Reno, and then it's going to start to slice to the southeast as the area of precipitation pushes inland into the southeast into Nevada, and eventually over the mountains of northern and central Nevada, which puts down plentiful valley rain and heavy mountain snows, which is needed to fill up those reservoirs in Lake Mead, and even light to moderate rain and showers Monday afternoon and Monday night over Lake Mead and Las Vegas, and then that moves out as we work our way deeper in the Monday afternoon and evening, and it progresses into the Four Corners region. And then Tuesday morning, we look at our next system that's targeting central California around the San Francisco area, Half Moon Bay crashing in down south into Los Angeles metropolitan area and San Diego, and then continuing off inland into the Four Corners region and Lake Mead proper and Las Vegas and central and southern Nevada. Critical heavy rain and mountain snows Tuesday afternoon moving in, Tuesday evening targeting especially Tuesday evening, and into the early overnight hours Wednesday as the system pushes inland with heavy mountain snow and rain into the inland areas of the Sierra, central and southern Nevada, and over Lake Mead itself. And then that continues to become more showery as we work our way through Wednesday as this precipitation in the system moves away. And then we dry out Thursday, and we have a weak system Friday that moves in generally central and northern Nevada and California. And then as we work our way into the Sunday the 26th, in a week from now, we have another system coming into Northern California, and this one looks like it could be an inside slider, which comes from Northern California south, but it dries out as it comes south, but could still give Monday and Tuesday, the 27th and the 28th, it could still give some light snow to moderate snow and valley rain in the Sierra and into central and southern Nevada, which would be critical. And then we start to dry out after that as we're starting to get into the dry season now. So any rain that we get is in March and April is very, very thankful and very, very crucial and very, very coveted, as at any point in time the systems can stop and the moisture can stop. But right now we still have that Pineapple Express that we talked about. And if we look at the total precipitation over the next 360 hours, we can see widespread 2 to 5 inches of precipitation up in the Sierra and into the coast of the Northwest California, 1 to 3 inches in central and southern California coast, and southeastern California into the valleys, into the desert areas, a trace to a quarter to a third of an inch, and then most of Nevada between a half an inch and 3 inches, the heaviest precipitation central and northern Nevada. But then if you get closer to Lake Mead into the valuable mountain ranges, you can see 3/4 of an inch to even 2 inches locally, and then a half an inch to an inch of rain over Las Vegas over the next 7 to 10 days, which is a lot of rain for Las Vegas, which is very crucial because with that rain and precipitation and the cold air, you get that valuable mountain snow that is still collecting and building and is going to sit there to release precious water as you dry out. You get fresh water melting from the mountains to keep you filling up the reservoirs when you have big snow seasons deep into this autumn and fall and summer season. And you can see anywhere from 20 to 60 inches of snow in the Sierra, anywhere from 6 inches to 3 feet locally in central and northern Nevada. And that's all great, great news as we continue to do these daily updates on Lake Mead. Peace and love.